Alright, looks like it's live. Go ahead and tweet this out, I guess. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started. Game. Yeah, no. Definitely not doing Steel Soul. In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret, for none could tame your savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught we changed, base instincts were redeemed, a world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. Ugh, I'm so tired, I just woke up. I overslept. It may not have a huge amount of them, but the cutscenes in Hollow Knight are fantastic. I think for the most part they're the few here in the beginning, and then like maybe a couple later on, and then at the end of the game. Incredibly understated. Let the art do most of the talking. It's been so long since I played Hollow Knight. Oops, should probably pay attention. Basic tutorial stuff, you know, making sure you know how to jump. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul, and you shall achieve feats which others can only dream. Basically, just explaining how to heal, which I do actually need to do because I was not paying attention a bit ago, but I'll grab this one. A little overzealous in avoiding that trap there. Controller feels a little off. I had changed... no, not in there. This. Go and restart the game real quick. See if that... It feels like a slight bit of input lag and it's throwing me off. Hopefully that should fix that. I do like how when you restart the game like that, it has you waking up from laying on the ground. Like that jump that he takes in that cutscene knocked him out or something. Okay, that's still gathered down there. Still feels slightly off. Maybe I'm just out of practice. Oops. Could also just be that I'm not used to not having the dash. Grab the extra health from that. I realized I wanted health to be, you know, a resource, but it always felt a little weird that the game had these extra health. Is there something down there? I don't remember. Oh yeah, like secret path or something. The game had that extra health system, but there's only like maybe 3 of those in the game that I can remember. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Beyond this point, you enter the land of King and Creator. Step across this threshold and obey our laws. Bear witness to the last and only civilization, the eternal kingdom, Hallownest. Giant door. And then down into dirt mouth. Very quiet and dreary at the start, and it's still a bit dreary towards the end of the game, but the lack of characters living here at the start just really sort of sells how decrepit Hallownest has become. Ho there, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they've all disappeared, headed down to that well one by one into the caverns below. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our town. It's long fell to ruin, yet it still draws folks into its depths. Wealth, glory, enlightenment, that darkness seems to promise all things. I'm sure you too seek your dreams down there. Well, watch out. It's a sickly air that fills the place. Creatures turn mad and travelers are robbed of their memories. Perhaps dreams aren't such great things after all. Bench that acts as a save point. I will be quite happy to get the dash. The beginning of the game is slow without it. For all your mapping supplies, we will be opening soon. Down we go. I'm going to, it gives you 2 options at the start, but I'm going to head over this way. If only because the mapper Cornifer is this direction. And I think you can still head around to the boss and explore this area this way, but I don't remember for sure. It's been too long. Oops. Get all the coins we can. I don't remember how much he charges for the first map. Ah, hello there. Come down to explore these old beautiful ruins? Don't mind me. I have a fondness for exploring myself. Getting lost and finding your way again is a pleasure like no other. We're exquisitely lucky, you and I. I'm a cartographer by trade, and I'm working on mapping this area right now. Would you like to buy a copy of my work so far? Oh, nice. That's pretty cheap. Most of them are, I think, but I'm not going to be able to fill out the map until I go by the quill from up above, but that can be a useful thing, but alone won't show you where you are. If you're not the head for directions, I suggest purchasing a compass for my wife, Iselda. She's just now opening our new shop in Dirtmouth, selling all sorts of useful things to wanderers like yourself. She'll even sell some of my old maps from time to time. I pop back to see her whenever I finish mapping an area. She's always so excited to see me. There was no secrets over there. Of course, the one blind jump I take down here, it's right over spikes. Is there something over here? Oh, okay. Precisely placed cache of Geo to push you into breaking that door. That like hidden door or whatever. There's a lot of points like that throughout Hollow Knight where they try to goad you into doing things. Come on. I'm out of soul, but should be fine. Break these ones up here too. Oops. There we go. More extra geo, which we're definitely going to need for purchasing the quill and any pins from Iselda later. I'm not going to head back right away. There was something else down this way, wasn't there? Can't get up there. And then here's more money. I love the hand-drawn effect of these backgrounds and how they can slightly overlap your character, giving, you know, a bit of depth to the art. Wait, need to go down to the bottom one, that's right. I can't get up there. I love how these, I don't even know what I would call them, not really like centipedes or something, but almost like maggots. These giant enemies here look, it's because they look so neat, and they've also got this, you know, creepiness to them, bursting through the ground, but they're only used in like a couple places throughout the game. Granted, there are kind of similar ones later, but it's not quite the same. was... I need to drop into that from above. I think I dropped down there from a shortcut above or something. I don't remember exactly. They do tend to overuse these guys, like, right here, though. They could have, like, spaced them out somewhere else, but... you know, not everything is perfect. So what was this way? You're a big one. Full of babies. Story doesn't go into it a whole lot, but I kind of wish they did how the enemies are supposed to be bugs that have wandered in and, you know, found themselves basically zombified. This is sort of first boss fight. More of a mini boss, but it still does the name popping up in the bottom corner. I felt so bad afterwards though, because there was this brief panic of did I actually need to attack because I didn't pay attention if the door was open or not. There we go. Does give plenty of geo though. And then the vaguely disturbing. Ugh. Which is part of why I felt bad. Despite the vague body horror of babies exploding out of a person. Can't get up there yet. Gotta come around from the other side. Ah, this is, the shopkeep, right? Yeah.
Oh, title.
Borrow you oaf, you wield your nail like a club. As me, how much deeper do we have to go?
Whoopa.
What? Who are you? I see, this old village. What a strange dream to have led me down here. If you hadn't found me, I don't think I would have ever woken. I'm Sly. Usually I live an uneventful life up in Dirtmouth. The air in these ruins doesn't agree with me, so I'd best be getting back. If you return above, come and see me. I'm probably the friendliest face left there, and I can thank you properly for your good deed. You're exploring then. Very brave. Plenty of courageous wanderers have been lost to the hunger of these old caverns. You have your nail though, and I can tell just by looking that you know how to wield it. And I think that's all this down this way. Just opening a passage back up. Jump up the other way. There we go. not being able to really dodge without that dash is kind of frustrating. I understand why they keep it from you in the beginning, like to make you feel more powerful so you get more upgrades. But from people that I've talked to, like the part that really turns players away the most is the very beginning, when it feels just so slow and clunky just moving around, because you don't have the added mobility of that dash, which really speeds up the exploration. Where are you? There you are. What was this? Oh, this was the grub hidden by, not hidden, but blocked off with spikes to test if you can use the momentum from your sword swings to bounce yourself across spikes. One's a little tricky to get, but it's not too bad. I definitely want to get the there's one charm. I don't remember if you buy it from the shopkeeper. I think you do. That when you equip it, it automatically brings the Geo into you from enemies, so that way you don't have to. That one's a little smarter. Go and grab it after you defeat an enemy and break open the geocaches. I almost forgot about this guy hidden in here until that audio cue. Down should lead us to the quick travel. So actually, let's go ahead and run back to town. Also, save. Toll machine with the symbol of a stag. Insert Geo. Yes. Run back to town and pick up some stuff. Greetings, little one. It's been an age since I last heard the ringing of a station bell. It echoed down the stagways and called me to you. I've grown stiff and tired over these many years, and I've forgotten much, but the sound of the bell will always call me back. These stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. If you want to travel them, hail me from the platform. I will take you where you need to go. And thankfully, there's already one available for Dirtmouth. Tea. Then this switch will open the door. Seems like a really awkward way to, seal a door. It's with a lever. To visit the mapmaker's wife.
Bapanada.
Come to buy a map, have you? It's really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise, he's headed down below. He'll pop back occasionally to deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here. I've not much interest in retail myself. Now let's see what's here for me to sell. The quill. We definitely want to pick that up. Help us fill in the maps. Compass. Not too terribly worried about pins, but probably be good to pick up Stagway pin at least, and the bench pin. That way we can keep track of where those are located. And now that we can update the map, it shows fully fleshed out instead of just the outlines that Cornifer has. Hello, I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I have several items that may improve your chance of survival. Mask shard for increasing health, vessel fragment for increasing soul, key, some pins, gathering swarm, that's the one that I want to grab next. And then instead of taking the fast travel, we'll just head down and go back around the other way, which should link up before heading to the boss. I like that thud when falling long distances. A really satisfying sound effect. And you really can't, like, underestimate a good sound effect. Like, whoever, the sound designer who came up with the sort of click sound effect that the Switch uses in advertising is a genius. Temple of the Black Egg. Hello there. How delightful to meet another traveler on these forgotten roads. You're a short one, but you've got a strong look about you. I'm Quirrell. I have something of an obsession with uncharted places. This ancient kingdom holds many fascinating mysteries, and one of the most intriguing of them is standing right before us. A great stone egg lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom. And this egg, is it warm? It certainly gives off a unique air. Can it be opened? There are strange marks all over it. I do so love a mystery, and who knows what other marvels lie even deeper below us. Quirrell is awesome. He's like legitimately my favorite character in this game. For so long I felt drawn here, so many tales full of wonders and horrors. No longer could I resist. I just had to see it for myself. And what a time I chose to arrive. This dead world has sprung to life. The creatures are riled up and the earth rumbles. The air is thick. I wonder what could have brought it all about. There's nothing over this way, I don't think. Yeah. Basically, though, this presents our first mystery and something to try to decipher as we go throughout the game. This direction is mostly a set of very basic enemies to give people who are just starting out a slight combat challenge without, like, making it impossible. Let's see. Let's go off this way. This is just a short little diversion. Giant dude with a club. Ooh, a little too close that time. This guy had a lot of money. And also hiding a grub. Go ahead and heal up before I forget. If anything at this point will kill me, I think it'll probably be forgetting to heal. Oh yeah, this way is the entrance to another area that we can't actually get through yet. But I love the aesthetic here. The glowing pink crystals and what's her name? Mila here. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight, bury my father with his eyes shut tight, bury my sisters 2 by 2, and then you're done, let's bury me too. Do you know that one? It's one of my favorites. We can sing something else if you like. You start singing and I'll join in. I bet you have a beautiful singing voice. So what are you down here for? You came to get wealthy, just look around you. These mines are still bursting with riches. There's plenty for everyone. Just grab a pick and join in. This is one of the... She's such an understated character, but she's one of the sadder ones in the game. Just the melancholy songs that she sings. And here by herself with her voice echoing, and then what happens to her later in the game is, a bit sad. Something down there. And then this was just the actual entrance to the zone, I think. Yeah, we need to break through the ground here. But nothing we can do yet. Let's see what's over here. Oh, it's just one of these soul repositories. Which I never found a huge amount of use for. Like, on rare occasion, I'd find myself weakened and unable to heal, and hope that there was one nearby, but for the most part, I would get enough just from combat that it wasn't ever a huge problem. Heal up. I don't remember what was over this way. That was a bit lucky that I got bounced back there. Though, you know, could have been intentional by Team Cherry. They've got enough little intentional bits of design with things like that that it makes me wonder sometimes what was intended to help the player out unintentionally, especially early on when they're not quite used to how the game works. There is a grub up there. I don't quite remember how to get to it. First we'll grab all this geo. So right now every little bit helps. And like a lot of games later down the line matters a lot less just because you find so much of it backtracking and exploring. You need double jump to get up there, I think, or at least the dash. Oh, okay, this cuts across all the way back to that long shaft on the other side of the map. Forgot about this path. So not only has it been a while since, you know, playing the game, but it's been a while since I've played the very beginning of the game. And there's so many other areas to see and explore that some of the earlier ones tend to get a little lost in memory. Avoid the spike. And then down we go. Oh, right. I forgot about this. Can't head around the path this way. Have to take the longer way. So I guess we're going back to Dirtmouth and taking the fast travel back. I'm glad I didn't start off heading this direction. Now we can just take the fast travel and finish off the last little bit before heading to the boss. Ominously marked by that giant face in the middle of the map. Not quite enough to buy that pin, but not a huge deal. We definitely should by the time we defeat that first boss. Go ahead and hit the checkpoint here, just in case the boss does manage to get us. Let's see, need to head up and to the, well, head up all the way and open up that gate before I forget. Which I was so close to doing last time I was here. And then this was too dark to see. Yeah. Wants you to buy the Firefly lantern or whatever it was to get through there. You can get through there without it, but I don't remember it well enough to justify the hassle. Let's see. This way. This lets us drop past him if we want to, but these guys have a fair amount of money. There we go. Keep reading those guys jump so far. Just the destructible environments had a nice touch. Just they don't ever drop any items that I ever noticed, at least, but it's a makes the world feel a little more alive when you're actually fighting something. Giant, ominous room. Which is, of course, a boss fight. Got a little too greedy that time. Acts vaguely as a tougher version of those giant dudes from earlier. Also with a goofy face. We can hit these falling eggs or rocks or whatever back at him. Oop, that was a bad move. Heal up. Won't take this chance. Jump soon enough. That could have been bad. Oh, come on. Well, hopefully now I remember to actually dash underneath him when I get trapped in the corner like that. Well, not dash, but head past, since I don't have the dash yet. Don't have a whole lot of options for evasion until we get that. And this time I'm just going to jump past you. Ow, you're fast. And then, the vaguely Dark Souls aspect of Hollow Knight, which people probably overplay in the having to collect your money from the shade of yourself. Thank you, man. Oh, yeah. Thought I could make it. Heal up real quick. Smack him in the face a bunch. Not sure why those things don't, damage him just by landing on his head. But do when we smack them at him. Video game logic. Now the part I always feel bad about. Just smacking him until he's done. Poor little dude. City crest. I also love how his giant mace that he's been swinging around gets up and walks off if you wait long enough. Is there... Wait, I can't get back. That's right. I can hop up this way, though. Bunch of money. I should definitely be able to afford that, that one specific charm now. Does that floor repair itself now that I've left the... I don't remember. His body's gone. Where did he go? I don't remember if this stays... Okay. Gonna need the dash at least to check that room out further. Ah, yeah. Foreboding imagery, skulls everywhere. Got a checkpoint too, so take advantage of that. And then the snail shaman. Oh ho, who is that creeping out of the darkness? My, you're looking grim. A strange, empty face and a wicked-looking weapon. Something important has drawn you down into Hallownest's corpse, but I won't ask what. Perhaps the reason you found me is because you need my help. Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift, a nasty little spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Oh ho ho. Don't be afraid. Have faith. That spell belongs to you now. All you need to do is take it. You won't be going much further without it, I promise you. First actual real option in combat, though can't use it a whole lot. Because depletes soul and also, which, you know, is also used for healing, so. You woken at last, I apologize. Perhaps I should have warned you about the power of that spell. I was watching over you as you slept, but I seem to have slipped away myself. Now we're awake, I was wondering whether you would do me a small favor. Not as repayment for my gift, of course, simply because we're now friends. You see, a horrid great beast has made its home in the heart of this temple. Such disrespect. I would be quite grateful if you would venture deeper in and slay it for me. It's a hardy creature, but with your new power, you're more than a match for it. Good luck with this small favor, my friend. Oh ho ho ho. Oh, excuse me. Almost like the tire enemies from Kirby. Wow. Some of the environments like this one, which have boards throughout the background, make the ones that are in the foreground a little less obvious. Until you try and jump through them and fail. Come on. And now would be an nice time to have that charm because of the spikes down there, which mean you can't really grab much of the geo we get here. Come back, buddy. Wait, I don't need to heal. Hey, come back here. Now I do. Yeah, that should be more than enough. I don't remember if there's actually... Okay. There's a geocaches up here, that's right. Oops. I say I don't remember if there's anything actually worthwhile up here. I know the, this pod with bonus health is, but... that only lasts until we sit on a bench or lose it. Ow, like that. I am glad that they made that guy spit out other enemies so that way we don't, you know, potentially run out of soul. Equip a charm, sit on the bench. Not sure what the point of that one is up there. So it's done then. You've slain the beast. The poor thing must have been terrified of you. It used to be quite docile, but the rancid air in these caverns filled it with some ancient rage. Still, you did what had to be done. You have my gratitude. Of course, we both know you wouldn't have made it through without that spell of mine. And look, the gate between us is opened. Oh, I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell and have faith. Whatever you are seeking, it will find you. Jerk. Draw more soul from the world around them, increase the amount of soul gained when striking an enemy with a nail. I don't have any other options right now, so go ahead and equip that, might as well. Ooh. Then getting to the left leads us back around to the path we first walked down. Sorry I missed you. If you're feeling lost, why not pop up to our store in Dirtmouth and purchase a map of this area, available now for an excellent price. You know, it's they have Cornifer set to sell his map in Dirtmouth if you ever miss him in an area, but ironically I think this first one is one you can't really miss him unless you're like completely oblivious, because I think you have to head down this way to get to the boss. I don't think there's any other option. Back up we go. Buy that one charm, the Gathering Swarm, because I am lazy and hate having to run around and pick up geo after fighting an enemy. Breaks up the pace too much. Let's see, it was Sly the Shopkeep. Even with just, you know, another extra person in the map maker's place open, it adds a lot of life to the to Dirtmouth. Gathering Swarm. What were the other Pinsy cells? Life in Hallownest can be tough, always taking hits and getting knocked around. This charm grants you more time to recover after taking damage, useful if you need to escape from a tight spot. That one would be helpful. But I think, assuming I can afford it, I would probably rather get the compass charm, just in case we do end up in an area that is ambiguous enough that that I'm not quite sure where exactly we are. It's pretty easy to get lost here. Since the map isn't necessarily distinct enough at times for you to tell exactly where. Go and unequip that one, and add these two. That should now tell us where we are whenever we're down exploring. I did forget to check out this room up here, though. You're sneaky. The Grub Father rewards us for finding the grubs. It's not a huge reward at the start, but it does build up. Alright, there's 2 more rooms to the left down below. Actually, there's also a room to the left of where the map maker was that I forgot to check out down further. I don't remember what was off this way. I like the added detail of these guys in the background. It's not like they solely exist on this plane that I'm in. Acid. Oops, that was a little close, but we got another grub. I just had the thought of, are these supposed to be like cocoons? Oop, missed. Because I remember seeing these empty husks, and I always just kind of figured they were like mummified remains, but being bugs, it would actually make sense if they were husks, or not husks, but like cocoons. Let's see. That room below, I think we couldn't get any further through, so we'll go ahead and head back up this way into the next area. Wasn't quite there. I also wanted to avoid landing on that guy down there on that platform. But there's also this door down here. Right, this one is intended for the wall jump upgrade you get later in the game. I think you can actually bounce up those spikes maybe if you're super careful, but I am not going to try. Not worth the effort. If you even can. I don't entirely know that you can. I feel like I might have tried when I played it before. Oh, come on. I will be so glad to get the dash and be able to maneuver a bit better, especially through air. The Pilgrim's Way. Travelers of Hallownest descend through verdant wilds and fungal groves to the city at this kingdom's heart. There, all wishes shall be granted, all truths revealed. That was the clue I was thinking of. That I was talking to someone on a Discord server a while back about Hollow Knight and how they had no idea where to go, and I remembered there being a clue. I couldn't remember what it was. I was thinking it was dialogue a bit later with a character, but thinking about it now, that was what it was. More delicious acid. Now into the overgrown green path. I was thinking it was something to do with a valley, but that's one of the other zones. Green path has some of my favorite music, though. Don't have a map. That's right. We need to find Cornifer. Some of the enemies here also have the added effect of being a ticking time bomb of sorts when you defeat them. I like the little effect of the bats or whatever flying off. I don't know if they're supposed to be bats, but they look a bit like a bat-like sort of enemy that shows up later. I expected that. Now we're really starting to rack in the geo. Is there something up there? Just this little guy? Oh. I don't know. They fly like birds. Maybe they are supposed to be birds. Some of the views, though, like this background is fantastic. Nice and quiet here, and beautiful waterfalls, water flowing. Hi there. We will see more of her later. Ow. Back off, Jack. They do a really good job in Green Path of hiding little things off to the side and in like areas that feel overgrown and stuff like that. I don't remember if this. Check this way first. Okay, that's just another path down. A more dangerous path down than the way we took. Over here, buddy. Ow. Can't get up this way. I think that's a shortcut we can open up. Bye. In case you didn't figure out before, that was definitely there to help you realize you could drop those on enemies. That. I do like how with Cornifer's little hum and these paper trails help you draw you into where he is hiding out. Isn't this a contrast from the crossroads? Such a humid, lively place. The roads twist and turn in the most wonderful ways. I've done my best to chart the area ahead, though I must admit some of the area's inhabitants proved quite a nuisance. Yes, please. Also sounds like there is a grub nearby. Now we've got a rough idea of which way to head. Green Path is a bit more linear than can't get up there, right? Yeah. Crossroads was. Still has some places that branch off, but and we can cut that to give ourselves easy access to this path down. We come back from the other way again. Oh, hi there. That'll never get old. It's just such a satisfying smush. And then this side path, which is definitely intimidating. And then that roar, which almost implies it to be a boss battle, but it's not. Tiny squib, you approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of hunter. Defeat enemies, add new entries to the journal, and decipher the hunter's notes. So basically, it's enemy lore. Little squib, you may have overcome a few creatures, but you are only just beginning. Don't delay, descend into the belly of this world and hunt down the life you find. I think it's mostly empty at this point, right? Well, I guess we have fought a fair variety of enemies. It's one of the ways that the game does actually develop the world and story, and that I really appreciate. That it's there if you want to see it, but they're not like forcing it on you. Sort of the similar to the way Doom 2016 did it. Come on. Oops. Since in that you had the... Actually, they did it almost the exact same way. Forgot that you also got it in that through defeating enemies. Is there anything up this way that I missed? A geocache. Thought there was a ledge beneath that. I love the little ways they introduce Hornet in Green Path. Those who stray from the White King's road shall face the law of Un. Oh, that took me a second. That's a sign. It's a bench over this way. I love how serene some of these locations are. I don't remember what was down this way. Other than annoying turret enemies. Is this a side room? What was over this way? Is this the way to the Temple of No Eyes? Yeah, we need the lantern to go through there. That's right. Oh, ow. The foliage that the enemies in Green Path are covered in actually does a pretty good job of obscuring them compared to how much the enemies of the Crossroads stood out against the background and the environment. They had the same sort of drab color palette, but it I do like the nice little transition between areas here. Blending the environments and showing the Fog Canyon almost as more of a sub area of Green Path. Head back this way though. I don't think there's anything we can really do in Fog Canyon yet. Take that. Hey, how's it going? Ugh. Back on the main path this way should take us pretty much straight to where we want to go, though. Ow. Oh, come back here. You know what? Fine. Go do your own thing. Trapped cache over here. Yeah, it took me a bit to discover the projectiles could be deflected too. Like, I think it was just by pure accident that, like, I think I was trying to destroy it and defend myself, and then I was like, oh, that actually can be bounce back at them. Oop. Forgot about those little guys. I remember running across these guys on my first playthrough and scaring the crap out of me. I just was not expecting a sudden burst of this giant thing from the ground. Oh, hi, Hornet. What was up this way? I don't remember. Oh, this was an obstacle path that needs the dash to get through. That's right. Ow. Heal up. Whenever I see a little indentation in the wall, I always have to make sure that it's not like something that can be broken through. It's been long enough that I don't remember all of them. We're getting quite a bit of geo for this early in the game, really. Oh, this leads up past, because I think there was a gate on that other path that we couldn't get past unless we came around this way first, if I remember right. Then this list just leads back the other direction, I think. To like one of the paths that you see Hornet earlier on, and acts as a shortcut to get back. Stone Sanctuary. Trying to remember. You're not getting me. Stone Sanctuary. God, it's been so long. Oh yeah, the place I glanced at earlier. That's right. Yeah, I don't think I went back to there until pretty late in the game, actually. I think that was one of the areas I checked out when I was trying to find hidden paths and check out all the different little areas. Yeah, Mask Shard sounds right. It was not a extremely fulfilling reward. Yeah, this just brings us back over here, and then I think there's one of those locked gates down this way. Yeah. I think I did the same thing the first time I played through too. I just went up that side path and then coincidentally came around this way. Though I guess there is the other toll post on the other side, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. Ow. Green Path does have some awesome platforming though, since it's so vertical. Missed. I don't remember. Wasn't there... Ah, yeah. This dude. This dude actually gave me quite a bit of trouble my first time through. He can mostly be countered just by bouncing on his head. Stop doing that, jerk. His only real defense against it is doing that dash away. Come on. There we go. And of course I have just not enough soul. I saw you there. There we go. Now I feel a little bit better. Nothing. Okay. Oh yeah, this joins back up the caverns, doesn't it? Like, the Howling Cliffs, was it? I don't remember exactly. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. The, just accidentally bumping into a little guy. That is incredibly frustrating. Hi, Zote. Come on. Thought he was about to roar. Oh, I always save Zote. Because I'm a big old softy. Like that. I think I actually already have the achievement, but I don't remember.
Akala, man?
What do you think you're doing? You dare to come between me and my prey? Is it a habit of yours to scurry about, getting in the way and causing bother? Know this, cur. I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown. Cross me again, and you'll find out why they call my weapon Life Ender. Okay, buddy. Whatever you say. Let's see. They should just take us pretty straight to... Oh boy. I forgot there was two of these guys here. Run away! No! That was a little too close for comfort. One thing I did get frustrated a bit by with Hollow Knight is just how trivialized some of the combat encounters get when you bounce on the enemy's head. Like, just some enemies can't really do anything. But is there upcoming Zote DLC? I don't remember if I saw anything about that. That sounds like vaguely familiar, but I haven't kept up on it enough. Oh, come on. Just lots of input lag? How do you mean? Oh, Zote DLC. Yeah, sorry, that just made that connection. That would be hilarious, actually. Zote DLC is similar to the base game, except everything is just awful. Zote DLC is hard mode. Also, his his sword is what, made out of shell or something like that, so just like do 1/10 of the damage or something like that. Something ridiculous. That would probably make me rage quit, honestly. Oops. Let's see. Wasn't anything I really want from Iselda, but I think there's still a couple things to pick up from Sly. At the very least, that lantern, but we don't have enough for that yet. The shards I'll wait on too. Nothing quite yet. But it is good to have that quick travel back. I'm not gonna head down that way yet. Go ahead and get this boss fight knocked out. Only a little foreboding. Come no closer, ghost. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, a terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you tried to do. I can't allow it. There we are. Which video of mine is my favorite? That is a question I don't know that I have an answer to. I'm like with a lot of people, I'm sure. After making a video, I am like instantly super critical of it. Like, oh, well, I could have done this, this, and this better. So, I do like, certain aspects of different ones at the very least, like, things that I think I did well in each one. The least hated. The one I did on Bloodborne and its trick weapons, I think, is one of the better game design centric videos that I've done. I do like some of the stuff that I did with the video on Hollow Knight. But I don't know how much of that is just the fact that I love Hollow Knight, so... I fairly regularly listen to the Hollow Knight soundtrack, and one of my favorite songs from it is Hornet's Theme, and every time I listen to it, I can still hear the cries that she does in my head. It's because they just kind of gotten stuck in there. Got greedy there. This might be one of my favorite fights from the game, honestly, just because of how this is like the first quick-paced fight that really puts you through your paces and makes sure that you understand how the combat works. The Link's Awakening video one was pretty good too. Like, partially just because Link's Awakening is a game that, you know, is very oh, okay. Would it seek to break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. The Link's Awakening video is a game that, like, Link's Awakening is a game that's really close to me, and, that part, like, words are hard. I'm glad I script everything. Like, I spent a lot of time playing that over and over back in the day, and it was a video that I had been wanting to do for a while, but I had kept putting off, and it was kind of a personal thing that I ended up putting it together, because the Link's Awakening was given to me as a gift, like, for a Christmas years and years ago. Oh, come on, I don't want to die to this guy. Stop it. Yeah, always off script. I've also had a lot of nerves about it, just because it's just, you know, a daunting idea of actually doing something that's a lot less, that's a lot more freeform, and you don't know how it's gonna go. But Link's Awakening was a Christmas gift I got years ago from, like, it was packaged in a bundle with a Game Boy Pocket, and I got it for Christmas from my grandmother. And earlier last year she passed away, and that was part of the reason that I put that together, was just, you know, partially processing it and dealing with emotion, and that almost, not a tribute is a bad word for it, but in honor of sort of thing. Give me my Geo. And Quirrell's in here, isn't he? Hi, Quirrell. Oh, hello there. Seems we both tread far from the path. I can hardly believe those dusty old highways led to such a lush and lively place. This building suggests some form of worship, though its idol has clearly been long forgotten. Doubles equally well for a moment's respite. Saw a strange fellow out there. Seemed quite taken by the lake. I'd planned to offer greetings, though I figured I'd first tend to my nail on chance our meeting goes poorly.
me nobis.
Your nail looks like a fine instrument, but it's showing signs of wear. Jeez, that's a loud car. I'd wager up there it would take you far. Down here, however, I suspect you'll soon meet dangers the surface world can't match. Is that all he says? I don't know. Hellenist is perfect for vigilant explorers like us, so tense and thrilling. In this place, you're either alert or you're dead. Okay. There was a bench inside too, and then I died to the dude right outside. It's wonderful. I'm actually forgetting that I've got the dash now. Thank you. It had been something I'd been wanting to do at some point. It was, you know, just kept getting put off, and then that seemed like as good a reason as any to get it actually done. Let's see. Down this way might be where I don't remember. I think Fungal Valley. Actually, Fungal Valley is down from Crossroads, isn't it? I'll check what's down here first anyway. Wait, there's a geocache over there. But yeah, the Bloodborne video was, like, not an awful bit of game design talk. Hollow Knight one I enjoyed just partially because it was Hollow Knight and I wanted to talk about it. The A Link to the Past one I liked because it's something that it talks about some stuff that I don't see talked about a whole lot, and that's just this way you can sequence break the game and access areas sooner than you were supposed to be able to. I think that might have also been where I started working more on editing and doing effects and stuff like that. What was... Oh, come on. Oh, wait, no, I think I need not the dash, but, the, whatever it's called, where you launch yourself, Crystal Heart or something. Get through there? From moss and leaf our life is drawn, while it grows upon the path we shall never wilt. The one thing I would change about the Link's Awakening video is just doing less editing effects and stuff like that in it. Like, it looks neat, but I think it probably takes away from the video more than it actually adds to it. It's like there's a sweet spot in editing, in my opinion, where you can make it look nice without being distracting, and that's hard to hit sometimes. And then, being my first real foray into using After Effects, I went a bit overboard. Partially out of practice and just partially just because I was having fun with it, but let's see. Check it up here. Oh. What's this way? Is this the... Yeah, this is the... I thought I could get past it. A little platforming challenge. Oh, come on. It's like there's a time and place for heavier amounts of editing, and being able to discern when to use it and when to not is, you know, part of the goal. Head back up to the top and then take the shortcut back across. Like, there are some people who just find like the perfect balance. Like, Mark Brown is really good about not going overboard on the editing and doing it in ways that enhance what he's talking about, or help, what's the word I'm looking for? Draw attention to what he's draw attention to visually what he's talking about. And then there are other people who use next to no fancy editing or anything like that, and it works perfectly well for him. So part of it's just a style thing. Yeah, the child finding a thesaurus thing is very apt. There are times where I'm looking at videos and watching other people who make stuff, because that is something that I really enjoy doing, and I will come across someone who is obviously just throwing everything they can at it and just, you know, not having a dull moment, and it just takes away a bit. Yeah, basically it like, while I think the editing I did with that Link's Awakening video looked nice, I think it didn't really add to it and might potentially be distracting from, you know, what I'm actually saying. So I've been trying to be careful about that from since I made that video. Okay, yeah, we're back at the start now. Thought I could just walk and get from one to the next. Oh, come on. There is some weird collision sometimes with things that look like they're not part of the foreground, but they actually do have a hitbox. Yeah, I mean, there are a number of people who do perfectly well without, I think Fungal Valley is pretty much straight down from here. Without having any editing. Yeah, as much as I love the art of Hollow Knight, it really is a little unnecessary in some parts. But some people like Hamish Black of Writing on Games, he uses next to no editing other than just simple cuts, and the writing, you know, carries it, and he doesn't need it. I could probably get away without doing much too, but part of it is just that I really enjoyed actually piecing it all together. It's a fun part of the puzzle for me. Yeah, hence the name. It's a fun part of the puzzle for me, and I need to be able to pound through the ground there. It's part of the fun, and it's also good editing practice. I, at some point, would like to be able to do editing, like, at least as a side job. Because I have a lot of fun with it, and the more I've done it, the more I think that I'm actually, you know, competent at it. So, being able to do that, like, freelancing or something would be a lot of fun, and potentially allow me to put more time towards actually making videos. Would you consider writing scripts the hardest part compared to editing, at least? Possibly. Like, that's been some of my biggest problems, is actually putting what I want to say into words. I've gotten better at it, but it definitely does not come to me as naturally. Like, sometimes when I'm writing, I will have a specific visual thing I want to do in mind, and other times I will just not have any idea, and I'll piece it together sort of in the moment. But the writing is like, I'll start writing, and then I will realize, like, halfway through what I'm writing, that this is, you know, trash, and I need to start over. Don't try to sneak past me. I can smell you. Do you collect a lot of Geo? Give me Geo, and you can see something nice. Let me show you then. Take a look. You want them? If you really, really want them, I'll trade them for more Geo. More Geo. I don't have a whole lot of desire for those right now. Maybe a bit later when I start racking up more Geo. But, like, between the video I did on Hollow Knight and the one that I put up at the end of, almost, at the end of, December on Factorio and Opus Magnum, like, I worked on at least a couple different script ideas, I think, that I trashed. Like, there was one about a specific game that I was like, well, this is, I wasn't really into it, and it was just more distracting and not something that was, I don't know, that felt like it was worth making. Yeah. The, anything that causes you to actually have a chance of dying, even if it's not, something that happens regularly, just makes them not worth it. But yeah, the that was part of the biggest problem in that like 4-month or so gap of videos, was just like I was writing and it wasn't going anywhere. And then it's I've been wanting to talk about Factorio for a while, but I only decided to, oh, that's right, I can't attack those. Only really clicked after doing it for a little while that I like sat and just sort of brainstormed ideas for Factorio, and just sort of wrote until it came to me. And then while I was doing that was when Opus Magnum came out, and I started playing that, and I was like, this fits with what I want to do with Factorio so much, and it just kind of evolved from there. Aha, the tiny steps of a tiny creature. You've got the look of an adventurer, so we've much in common. Searching for dangerous places, Well, you're on the right track. A long-necked critter warned me of a tribe deeper down. Warrior sorts, so she says, and I'm itching for some serious combat. Keep sharp, my adventurous friend. Stay alive and let's meet again on the road ahead. So yeah, basically all that rambling to say that the writing is one of the hardest parts for me, and I keep forgetting I don't have a map. It's something I'm hoping to get better at this year, like trying new things and pushing myself. Oops. Trying to get better. I've been working really hard at actually going over my scripts multiple times and pruning them, trying to get them to say the same thing, but with less, you know, more concisely. I don't know that I'd say it can be hard to distance and analyze. Like, that's actually something that's gotten kind of frustrating, is I have a harder time not analyzing a game and just sitting back and having fun. Like, thinking of intuitive games, like, Opus Magnum and Factorio didn't quite, I don't remember seeing something run away before, didn't quite, like, click the way they did for me. Oh, Hornet. Did I never see that the first time through? Here ends the pilgrim's way. Holland's heart lays open before you proceed onward to share in its glory. I don't remember this at all. What? It's weird. Huh. Like, it was only once I started really writing and piecing together some of the stuff that Factorio and Opus Magnum do that it really clicked for me. And that was part of what I found so enthralling about it, is it was not something that it shoved in your face. It was just very, very simple and did what it was designed to do. But yeah, I have a harder time not being analytical of games, which is annoying when you just want to. This is the entrance to Is it? Or is that maybe further down? Okay, no, this is it. That looks very familiar. I think there's a bench this way. But, like when I just want to sit back and relax and play a game. No, maybe it's this way. I don't remember. It's harder for me to just shut it off and, just enjoy. Like, there's been not many games that I'm able to do that with. So when they have shown up, it's been a lot of fun to actually just sit back and enjoy. Like Sonic Mania did that. Like Sonic Mania was such a throwback to my childhood that I was just like the entire time I was playing, I just had this giant stupid grin on my face. And it was just more Sonic, man. What more can you ask for? Oops. Heal up before I get ambushed by another mantis. What's this? Wanderer seeking death, welcome. May you find swift end upon our claws. I don't remember reading that my first time through here. This is one of the areas that had the least amount of backtracking for me, so I don't actually remember Fungal Valley all that well. Oops. I do remember the intense amount of anxiety this place gave me because I just felt like I was surrounded by death. Yeah, here's the bench down here. Don't fall into acid. Something dive into the acid up there. Favorite Hollow Knight area? It's actually not an easy decision because I really like the Dashmaster. Oh yes, that is one I think that I used all the time. Like, was End of the World? I think it was. The Kingdom's Edge. There you go. Fungal Valley feels like a midway point between areas before you get to City of Tears. Oh yeah, a bit. But yeah, Kingdom's Edge was one that I just loved the aesthetic of and how desolate it felt. And maybe I need the wall climb to get up there. And how the ash was falling everywhere, and the dead bodies from the whatever it was, the Coliseum up above, like that took me, yeah, the snow effect. The dead bodies didn't make sense to me until like even a little while after I found the Coliseum. Like then it was a bit after that that it finally clicked of, oh, these are bodies of people from up above fighting, being tossed down below. Yeah, the dead skin of the Wyrm. that was one of my favorite areas, but I don't know if I'd say it was the favorite. Like, I like how the crossroads changes later on in the game. That was a really cool thing that I wish they did a bit more of throughout the rest of the areas, like as you progressed. Fog Canyon was pretty neat. It was a little short. Like I don't think I went there until I was going for the Dreamer there, and then I was a bit disappointed, like, oh, that's all it is like a couple of paths and that's it. City of Tears has a special place just because, partially because of its soundtrack and then the aesthetic of it raining. And the sort of residential area to the east end of City of Tears was really great too. Because that felt like its own distinct area. I think that was the drop there or something. I don't remember. Queen's Garden is pretty fantastic too. Like, that might be my complete favorite song from the soundtrack. There's a lot of others that are really close, but Queen's Garden is I don't even have words to describe how much I love that one. And the entire area was such a great platforming challenge with all the little ledges and everything. There's so many good areas in Hollow Knight, it's hard to actually pick. Here we go. Getting the Mantis Claw was one of the most satisfying moments of my first playthrough. It just adds so much mobility. Hollow Knight is such a fantastic game. Like, I try to tell all my friends all the time, like, you really should play Hollow Knight. Like, even if you don't necessarily think Metroidvanias are your thing, or that I'll come back here later. Like, it's, or that it'll be too hard. It's really not that bad, unless, like, if you figure out the charms, you can pretty much face tank any boss if you really want to. And yeah, the Traitor Lord was kind of a cool idea, but it just didn't really hit the way they wanted to, I think. I've got a Steel Soul run in progress, but I've not actually gotten terribly far or completed one. Like, this file already is further than Steel Soul run. And it's not like I've tried and failed runs, I've just not got around to actually finishing it. I do want to finish that Steel Soul run at some point, though. Because it was definitely really tense and a lot of fun from I think I've got like an hour in it, something around there. Oh. Thought that black bit right in front of me right now was actually the end of the little room, so stop paying attention for a second. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to do it at some point. It is one of the rare games that I feel like it would really be enhanced by a hardcore run like that. Like games like Diablo 3 and stuff, I've not ever really been big on hardcore modes, but yeah, those crystal guys are kind of awful. Yeah, the last damage upgrade is like a bit absurd. Like, I think next time I, like, go through most of the game, I'm probably going to skip the last nail upgrade. The first time my first playthrough, I came down here before City of Tears, and I beat my head against this boss for probably, like, a dozen attempts or something like that before I finally, decided to move on. Like, I got so incredibly close too, but I just couldn't hack it. I feel like this time I might be able to get it once I get in the flow. That was a dumb move. Probably should have equipped Dashmaster before this, but oh well. I tried to do that. Whew. Come on, dudes. These two share a health bar, don't they? Not that I'm going to actually be looking at chat right now, but just thinking out loud. Oh, I thought it was... Oh no, I got pinned. Not a bad first attempt, really. Considering I haven't done that fight in months. I did see Joe's critique on it. I don't entirely agree with some of his thoughts, but it was a well thought out video. Like, sometimes his the level geometry is a bit messed up at times. His thoughts on story, though, in games like Dark Souls and Hollow Knight is kind of frustrates me. Because I actually thought the story of Hollow Knight was pretty fantastic. It may not be like overbearing and come on in your face, but I don't entirely agree with the idea of slopes either, but it does get a bit samey in some areas. They don't always do the best job of breaking up the level shapes. But Joe is Joe, and he he has his own style of critique. Like, one of the things that he thought was the best about Hollow Knight was the combat, and honestly, I think that's one of the areas that the game actually is lacking. Because, as I mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot of enemies that can deal with you bouncing on their head. Hello again. I suppose you've already met with the tribe of this village, hmm? They seem a little distrustful of strangers, to put it lightly. They're not brutes, though, no. The sickness in the air that clouds the mind of lesser beasts, they resist it. They retain their intellect and their honor, though also their lethal traditions. I've some words of advice, my friend. If you plan to challenge the lords of this tribe, your blunted nail may prove inadequate. There is a city nearby, the old capital of Hallownest. I've heard a nailsmith resides there. Seek the old bug out, and you may find progress that much easier. I don't know that I would say my video is praising Hollow Knight's combat so much as just the general moment-to-moment like action, moving around and stuff like that. Like, I think the points I made in the video apply a bit more to the way you interact with the world, like with movement and the way your nail bounces you back from like spikes and stuff like that. Was more what I was going for. Whether or not I succeeded in that. Oh. That was almost bad. What did Joe make the same point about? Yeah, the some of the bosses are a bit disappointing, but they're the ones that are well done. Like the Hornet fights are pretty good. The Mantis Lord's fight, I think, is one of the best in the game, just because of how much it relies on precision and knowing how you can move. And oh yeah, Grim. I still haven't beat Nightmare King Grim. It when the update first came out, I got through to there, and then I tried it several times, and then I just haven't gotten back to it. Like earlier today, I was testing streaming settings and stuff with a friend, and I tried Nightmare King Grim again, and I just got completely destroyed because I forgot the fight. I've been so out of practice, you know. The Dream rematches were mostly not great. Like, I did love the oh, what was it called? The Broken Vessel rematch. That one was a huge amount of fun, and honestly might be one of the hardest fights in the game in my opinion, other than Grim. Lost Kin, yeah. Like, that one took me a good while to beat, but it was so worth it. I do wish more boss fights also did the thing like where you challenge the Mantis Lords. That is a nice touch to the fight. And I liked how they incorporated that idea in the final boss fight. Like, on one hand, I like that it's a bit special that it doesn't happen very often, but it also could be used in different ways with a similar idea, if that makes sense. I have a difficult time telling, if I am exactly in the center when they do that one. Which makes me hesitant to use that time to heal, but that's one of the few times they actually give you a chance. Bad idea. Oops. Got greedy there. Got two. they don't remember to share a health bar, but at least I'm down to just one. Ah, that was a bad idea. But I'm down to just one now, so this should be manageable. There we go. Hoo boy! Yeah, Grey Prince Zote, I've beat 5 or 6 times, and then I've just not gotten back to beating him more, just because I got bored. Radiance took me a while, because I was having trouble adjusting to using, what is it, the Shade Dash offensively to get through attacks. Like, I hadn't ever really bothered to use it for that most of the time. But everyone wants a gold Zote statue. I could go to Deep Nest, but I don't really care to right now. Ooh, hi there. Oh, definitely. I love City of Tears. Shade Dash came naturally to me, but that's because it experienced the similar mechanic. Yeah, it's... After spending, like, so much of Hollow Knight without having invincibility frames when dashing, it just, was a little hard to adjust to. Especially since it's a bit irregular and not something you can do all the time. Oops. Oh, come on. I need to actually pay attention to what I'm doing. The Cuphead smokescreen is burned into your soul. Shade Dash comes naturally. I need to get around to picking up Cuphead. Like, I want to play it, I've just not bothered to yet. I'm really bad about picking up games, playing them for like half an hour to an hour, and then not coming back to them. So, while I want to pick up Cuphead, it's been a bit lower on the priority list, because I know I'll just end up setting it aside and not getting to it. Like, it's the few times that I actually play games through to completion has been when I've been intending to do it for a video. So, oh, come on, maybe I can't get up there yet. There we go. Oh. Yeah, it's not really like forcing myself to play games. I just get distracted easily. So, like, I picked up the Final Fantasy XII remaster for PS4, and I've played it for about an hour, and then I just haven't gotten back to it. And I mean, I know that part of it is that if you get what you wanted out of a game, it doesn't matter if you finish it or not. But I'm bad at just not even really starting games. Oh. Like the what is it? Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 collection for PS4. I've played maybe a few hours of Kingdom Hearts 1 on. There is a problem with RPGs and player time, but some of them aren't too bad. Like and sometimes a bit of busy work is just what you want. You know, less about being super engaged and more about something to do, like say on a bus ride or, you know, what have you. Like Disgaea has a lot of busy work involved with it, but that's not why I play Disgaea, so. Or, I don't play Disgaea for a heavily involved, you know, time. Part of it is I just like being able to sit back and, oops, I've still not found Cornifer here, and just play, you know. Yeah, grinding does feel a bit antiquated. I've actually got a video idea that I've been thinking about that's somewhat related to that, but it's let's see, I think I need to head back up. I've just not entirely formulated the idea out. It's less about the act of grinding being a detriment and more about the idea of grinding as an actual mechanic or goal in video games, because there are games where that's the goal. Specifically, I had been playing Digimon World Next Order, and that's basically the entire game is grinding, trying to raise up a Digimon. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the RPG too. What's up here? Oh, one of these things. More games experiment with alternative difficulty modes. Yeah, I mean, it's part of it too is I like the idea of not having or needing levels necessarily, but if it's just a straight everything takes longer, that's boring. That's not fun to me. That's like level 1 runs in most RPGs just don't interest me, just because it's not about your lack of being able to do certain things more than it's everything just takes a million times longer. But it also depends on the RPG, because some of them, you know, you don't have certain attacks or abilities or whatever until you get to a certain level, but I don't know, they can be interesting, but there are a lot of RPGs that don't make them interesting. If that makes sense. Yeah, I still actually need to finish Dark Souls. Like, I've beat 2 and 3, and I've almost beat Bloodborne. But I at this point, I'm just going to wait for the remaster. I can't get through here. I am very much waiting for all the review outlets to put out reviews that call it Dark Souls Remastered, the Dark Souls of remasters, because that's going to happen. Like, there's no way that is not going to happen. Supposedly they're going to bring the rest of, like, Dark Souls 2 and 3 to Switch, but I don't know how reliable that information is. Like, I've heard it around, but I don't know if that's actually come from an official source, or if it's just people being hopeful. And there's so much misinformation on the internet that unless I see something directly from an official source, I always doubt it, just because you never know. God, I love this view that they put, like, when you're first heading into City of Tears. Like, when yeah, pretty much everything about City of Tears is fantastic. But, when I was first playing through Hollow Knight, I sat in the great gates have been sealed, none shall enter, none shall leave. I basically just sat for like 5 minutes at this bench with Quirrell, just because, like, I know I'm going to want to use footage of this for the video I want to do on Hollow Knight, so I just let it run to yeah, the diegetic music rain is, like, I don't even realize it's there. It just fits so well. It just feels like part of the world. Those guys at the giant shields were super frustrating for a while. I wish I could draw. Like, I think actually when I recorded footage of this, I had to loop the footage for some reason. Like, I think I, like, got the same few second bit and looped it over and over for whatever reason, like right at the end of the video. I don't remember why, though. It might have just been, like, making Quirrell lean his head over towards you a little more often, but I don't remember. Yeah, like, things like this make me wish that I was actually good at art. But I am thankful to have found a creative outlet in making videos, because that's mostly satisfied that. Make friends with bugs. Like, I was not expecting going into Hollow Knight to have genuine emotional connection to Quirrell, and like that's just not something I expected. I also was not expecting to come out with a waifu in Hornet, so there's that. It's okay, Bretta gets Zote, so. During my first playthrough, I actually forgot to go back and figure out how to save Bretta, so I didn't actually do that until the update with the Zote boss. Which just makes, you know, her storyline of being stuck down there and no one remembering all the more tragic. Does she abandon him after? I don't remember if I read that or not. What was up there? I do like also how the title comes in after you actually come down the elevator. Go away. Nope. Take that. Oh, the Grub Father or whatever he's called. Probably go ahead and upgrade my nail once, just because level 1 nail is a bit tedious. Hold on a second. There, for whatever reason that got caught. I assume because of the word fat? I don't know. Yeah, like, I was a bit horrified about the whole him eating all the grubs thing. Until I read the description for the charm and like, oh, that actually makes a bit of sense then, that he's, you know, acting as a cocoon basically for them. Because they don't seem particularly distraught. Like, you can still hear them and they seem happy, so. This game and its vessels, man. Everything is a vessel. Have you brought me another nail to be honed? Leave it on the ground and return later, if you're still breathing. Huh? Oh, I thought you were someone else. After a nailsmith, are you? Well, you found one. I'm not much for talk, but if it's a nail that needs repair, then you've come to the right bug. Your own nail is in quite a sorry state. It's obviously not one of mine. Still, anything can be refined with enough effort and skill, even that broken blade. If you'd like, I can reforge your nail. It'll make the blade far more deadly. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is it supposed to be Hornet? I mean, there's very few people who actually are out and about in this, in Hallownest. As you wish. I'll get to work then. Like, I didn't actually catch that the first time through.
Garadel Akari.
There we go. The reforging is complete. I've honed your nail's edge. You'll find it much stronger than it used to be. Head out there and test its strength against your foes. Ow. Could also be a nail master or Sly. I mean, I don't know that they give you any other clues either. Like, I don't even remember that one, so I don't know if they necessarily even had a specific person in mind for that. It's just a game theory. Oh, come on. Have a good one. I'm glad you had fun. It's not something I was sure if people would actually enjoy or not. Yep, see it. I don't know how much longer I'm actually going to be on, so I'm already going on 3 hours, and I should probably get some actual work on video stuff done tonight. Oh, there's a door there. Curved ceiling tiles. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. Again we meet, little ghost. I'm normally quite perceptive. You I underestimated, though I've since guessed the truth. You've seen beyond this kingdom's bounds. Yours is resilience born of two voids. It's no surprise, then, you've managed to reach the heart of this world. In doing so, you shall know the sacrifice that keeps it standing. If knowing that truth, you'd still attempt a role in Hallownest's perpetuation, seek the grave in ash, and the market would grant to one like you. Memorial to the Hollow Knight. On the in the black vault far above, through its sacrifice, Hallownest remains eternal. Black Egg Temple added to map. I mean, you're probably going to have noticed it by this point in the game anyway, but let's see. Going to guess that need to follow that upper path from earlier. It's been so long that I don't entirely remember. Being able to take out those bugs in one shot is so much nicer. Those things are so annoying. Well, there you go. Now you can get your art references without having to go through the entire game again. Okay then. Have fun. Oh, nice. I messed with doing pixel art about a year ago, and it's not that I dislike doing it, I just don't have the time to devote to doing pixel art, and I feel like my time is probably better spent getting better at, like, video stuff and things like that. So as much as I enjoyed it, I can probably use my time better.
Son Gian.
Aye, come searching for rare items, have you? Well, hands off. This collection is mine, and I won't be selling to grubby little wanderers. Still, I imagine you come across many interesting items in your travels. Maybe you'd care to part with some. I'll offer a fair trade for each.
Helma Delka.
Looks like you don't have any relics on you. If you manage to find any in good condition, bring them to me and I'll give you a fair amount of geo for them. Okay. Why is this window so dark? Or, actually, maybe that's just a wall. It looks vaguely like a window. The, merchant is relatively hidden away. I mean, he's not super important to it either, so... It's definitely helpful, but... Oops. Oops. Come on, dude. Where this grub was. Sounds like it's up here somewhere. I think it's getting louder. Unbreakable strength. What was unbreakable strength? Was that the, was that not even a grub the whole time? Was it that thing? Is unbreakable strength the glass charm that you upgrade? I don't remember. I mean, it sounds familiar. I'm just... not put as much time in since the update. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I never really used the rancid eggs. Like, I think I might have once or something, but like it took me the long. I think I ended up looking up how to actually what they were actually used for because I just never found a need to use one. So I never actually talked to the person who returns your shade to you. Was that all it was? Oops. Wrong way. Bench up here. And a grub. That one's actually a grub. Are there many Metroidvanias where character has more weight? Oh, you mean where you don't instantly stop? Trying to think. I don't actually play like a ton of Metroidvanias. Most of them don't catch my interest terribly much. So, probably not the best person to ask. This fight, what? Oh, the soldier bugs or whatever. That was weird. I've never seen that glitch out that way before. Isn't this a change from those twisting natural caverns? The rain does cast something of a sadness upon it all, but the architecture is simply splendid. Charting such a different space is quite the challenge, the one I've eagerly undertaken. Perhaps you'd care to purchase a copy of my achievements so far. Yeah, and then this leads back to Soul Sanctum, doesn't it? Hi, Zote. Hoy, watch where you're going, you soggy vagabond. I don't want you splashing me. I've had a miserable time trying to keep dry. I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown. If I decide that I'm going to stay dry, then that's what's going to happen. Curse this wretched city. Water and monsters constantly fall from above. It's no wonder this blasted kingdom fell to ruin. Have you seen them? The guards who still patrol the city, even after dying. Being overly devoted to one's duties is no virtue. When he shows up at Dirtmouth, I actually went through and read every single one of his rules or whatever they are that he tells Bretta, just to see how long it went on and how far it went. don't remember if there's something else back past that bench. Like, obviously there's that other area to go to, but I don't remember if it actually led anywhere yet. So I feel like Soul Sanctum was up this way, but maybe not. Actually, Soul Sanctum's probably the other direction. I don't remember. It's been so long, and I am still relatively tired. Not until you can unlock the Soul Sanctum. It went on as long as it should have, entirely too long. Ow. What's this? Is this one of the... Oh, it's just a key. I assumed it was a relic. This way. Yeah, there's a relic. Okay. And then bench and Stagway is up this way. Slipped off that a little faster than I thought it would. Oh boy. Come here. This room is curious. I wonder what it's supposed to be. The room we're in right now? I think my assumption was always like a storage room of some sort for like transport to the Stagway, but I don't know, there's all these jar-like almost cocoons, so which I've never really been able to piece together what those things are actually supposed to be, if they're like dead husks or like potentially eggs or something. I don't know. Are there some on wheels? There's so much little bits of storytelling through the environment in Hollow Knight, and it's part of what I enjoyed. Several stag stations now. Thankful for the opportunity to once more travel through the kingdom. As I visit more places, I feel my memories returning to me, like the stagways of my mind are running once more. Continue to open the stations, and you'll have my deepest gratitude. Like just the little bits of environmental storytelling and stuff are great, or even some of the encounters, like in particular the second to last boss fight. Hi, Bretta. The second to last boss fight in particular just like really hit me with how emotional it was, that it doesn't even have any words, but there's still so much going on through the storytelling that they're doing with that encounter, that even just listening through the soundtrack, that song hits me. still not good enough for that lantern. I was thinking it was like 1200, but yeah, that is definitely one of the, I'm trying to think of how it's a very heavy boss fight. Like, if you pay attention to what it's telling you, it's a bit rough. And that is part of what frustrates me with Joe's critique, which obviously he can have his own opinion, but just writing off the story when there's are moments like that was a little frustrating. Yeah, I think he's got a fair amount of ebooks out, but I haven't actually looked into how many. Also, things like this door here, which is chained up, and there was the sign that mentioned that the way was locked, and then the other side in Fungal Valley has the other side chained up too. So yeah, I mean, he's not necessarily wrong. There's the different types of storytelling don't appeal to everyone, and it's just a one of the things that I like is just the little clues and piecing things together for stories. What was over here? Like it vaguely reminded me of Dark Souls, like piecing together item descriptions and stuff like that. Ooh. Ow. Wrong way. Thought it was over further to the right. I mean, even little things like this. Oh, come on. Really? This pit full of these zombified bugs, and how the curse, or whatever you want to call it, takes over the dead bodies, sort of implies to me that this was a dumping ground for corpses for whatever reason, whether they knew what was going to happen with the Radiants taking over, or if it was just a mass grave of some sort. Yeah, there's not anything up there. I mean, I suppose technically could go see whatever their name is down to the lower right, the charm person, but I don't think there's a reason to. I don't think you get anything until, like, you have a ton of charms, if I remember right. Go ghost hunting. Does that connect to the oh, whatever, the graveyard? Crystal Peak. Huh. See, I think when I came and found that earlier, it was the other way that I... Crystal Peak. I had the tram. I don't have the... Well, I could go to Deep Nest and get the tram ticket, I guess. There's so many ways that you can, like, take different routes through this game that it kind of blows my mind that... So when do you visit the graveyard normally? That's... Isn't it that you go through Soul Sanctum, you get the downward charge, and then you like smash through to Crystal Peak, and then like, or you smash through into Crystal Peak, and then Crystal Peak, there's the place you smash through, which leads to the graveyard, right? I thought you needed the ground pound to get to the graveyard. Huh. Or no, maybe... Oh, the ground just like collapses below you, doesn't it? That's right. This game and its world design is so fantastic that I don't... Like, I think Joe in his critique said that he beat the game in like 3 or 4 hours just by doing what he absolutely needed to. And it's been so long that I don't know that I could do that. Like, I don't know that I remember enough about the world to piece together a route that short. I'm Salubra, and this is my cozy little charm store. Did the townfolk out there tell you to come and visit me? Yes. This is a lovely little village, isn't it? Warm and intimate and full of life. What were we talking about? Oh yes, the charms. I can see you've started your own collection. Very nice. I'll show you some of my own, and you can take one home with you if you like. It's a good game. I definitely recommend it. I mean, it's what, $5 or not 5, but $15. It's definitely worth the money. Firelink. Ever drunk that bright blue liquid? Long nail. I don't think I ever really used long nail. I don't think I used any of these charms, actually. I will go ahead and pick up a couple notches. But... Oh, okay, I need 5 more. Have a good one. Oh, do you? if I had planned ahead, I could have played through Hollow Knight like over a weekend or something and thought of what all I could do, but you know, I didn't plan that far ahead, honestly. Part of me wants to go to Soul Sanctum, but part of me also wants to go to Deep Nest early, since when I played through it before, that was like one of the last places I went. Because a friend of mine warned me that to go to Kingdom's Edge and get that event with Hornet first, otherwise you'd miss some story in Deep Nest. So I saved that for last, I think. I also didn't spend a huge amount of time exploring Deep Nest because honestly the place creeped me out. Yeah, the story was pretty good. I don't regret it. I don't know that it was as integral as my friend implied it was, but it definitely added to it. Yeah, Deep Nest is like a nightmare for anyone who has a thing about bugs. Bugs don't bother me too much. It's just ones with really long slender legs. I don't know why, they just creep me out. And so there were parts of Deep Nest that bothered me a bit, but it's just such an oppressive atmosphere, and then enemies can, you know, come out of the background at you, and they did a really good job of making it feel very dangerous and that you didn't belong there. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else I need to explore in here. Just need to not run into every enemy on the way down. I thought Zote stuck around. Huh. Let's see. It's down. I hate these guys. Not even that they're necessarily like super hard, but they're just annoying. Anything that just instantly teleports around to get out of your reach is just kind of a hassle to fight. Like, they've got their place, but what? Slot for some kind of key. Is that only after beating the boss or something? I don't remember. Oh, Soul Sanctum? Yeah. I remember being sort of horrified at some of the implications of Soul Sanctum, and what Hallownest was doing here. Like their experiments with soul and everything. And then the boss fight with oh, what, is it Soul Master or is that the rematch? The boss, whatever his name is, being like when it drops you into the fight below or the room below, and just being horrified by the background there. Oh, the rematch with Soul Tyrant. That's right. Need to press the lever down below or something. This mini second phase was super good. Is that the one that was after you fall through the ground? Yeah, that was such an intense boss fight. I had a lot of fun with the rematch of that one, actually. That one did pretty good with the rematch, I thought. The mind still limits us, though. How to break past its constraints? To attain a pure focus. Is it even possible? Oh, wait, that doesn't open. I can't break through it, I don't think. Stop it. This enemy's not too bad, but it's just annoying. It's like if the Mantis Lords were more aggravating. I do like he had like what, 2 arms and 4 legs. The legs skittering on the ground was a nice little touch. Oh, come on. Grab this bit of soul. I do also like all the little interconnecting shortcuts you can open. They're not as good as the general world design and how you can go some places sooner than others if you know what to do. But it's still, you know, pretty up there as far as ways of designing a world. This is why I hate these guys. Like, I would hate those enemies less if they didn't pack them in these tiny little vertical shafts like they do, but sometimes they just teleport somewhere that's straight out of reach. Yeah.
most of the enemy design in Hollow Knight is pretty fantastic, but there's just a couple that are more obnoxious than anything. Like this. Ow. Oh, come on. Oh boy. Is there something down there I can... It's just a shortcut. Glass sphere. I don't know that there's any nearby that have soul in them. I'm like just a tiny bit of soul away from being able to heal, so I'm a bit nervous. Wait, what's up here? I think, okay. Come here, dude. Thank you. Oh, come on. What was over here? Oh, charm. I think that's the one that increases your damage from spells. I think. And then this is straight to the boss fight, isn't it? Yeah. I do like how he floats up in the background. That's... Oh no! Forgot about the the shockwave when he pounds. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't use the bench down by Cornifer. Ugh. That's annoying. I think I'm gonna call it here for today, though. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours, so probably take a break, get something to eat, get to work on video stuff, and then I'm probably going to, like, it's 1:42 a.m. here, but I work nights, so I sleep during the day. So my day's only half over or so. Not even, I guess, but I will probably just like keep the save set aside and use this next time I stream Hollow Knight. So I'm probably going to make a playlist and put the archives on that and leave them unlisted, so that way people can watch it without it like clogging up my video feed. So if you ever want to watch any more, like if I stream and you missed it or something, you can check that out. Good luck on the tile set. Those, when I was messing with pixel art, were intimidating. At least to do well, because you can make ones that are fantastic, and then there are also ones that are overly repetitive. Sure. Oh, that's fine. Is it getting blocked? Just, you can tweet it at me. Just at Draz Games. And then I'll take a look at it through there. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. I've not actually played it, but the palette, like color palette, vaguely reminds me of Momodora, like the images I've seen of it. Looks really good. That is significantly better than anything I ever did, so. I can tell, like, that is good stuff. I wish I had the time to put into it, but sadly, there's only so much time to put into actually getting skilled at something, so. Since it takes so long. Yeah, tell me about it. Thanks for hanging out, though. It was a fun stream. I don't even know when I'll stream again, but it was definitely a good first one, so. Same to you.